Good afternoon, good afternoon. Welcome back to Air Radio Saul on Spain. Today, 12 January 2022. We now bringing the news from Banjul, the Gambia. First, the headlines. Aprc'S Bakso expresses Angst over Saul Badjie detention. Tawaski Day murder suspects trial opened. 3 Marabot arraigned for defrauding man $700,000. Guinea keeps borders open with Mali hit by ECOWAS sanction. And also, Gambia mourns 11 deaths in New York fire. Chief Magistrate Omar Cham to head KMC inquiry, and Gambia Teachers Union speak on new government pay structure Palewa. So those are the headlines from Standard News. So let's go to Point Newspaper and see what they have. The same Gambian diplomat says nation in shock after fatal New York fire. And then here too, it's the same. Foreign Affairs Ministry confirmed deaths of 11 Gambians in New York fire incident. 3 commissioners sworn in for alleged KMC fraud inquiry. Saul Badjie and 2 others junklers face murder arson attack charges. Then Saregobo residents call on government to construct 8-kilometer feeder road. Teachers not disadvantaged by new pay and grading structure. TRRC reveals findings over executive of 67 exclusion of 67 WA migrants, that means West Africans, the execution of West African migrants, the place where they have been buried. So the national news also from Point where Usman Silla outlines plans for Banjul North if re-elected as a MP. Director Morinjai calls for attitudinal change to crucial COVID-19 cases. Then Serakunda East Martial Arts Union elects new executives. So those are the headlines from Points. Well, let's go back to the first story we want to read in English. That means Aprc'S Bakso expresses angst over Saul Badjie detention. Now the news in detail. This one by Lamin Cham, standard editor and reporter. Read by Hajadam Air Radio Saul Spain now. Bakari Jaite, an executive member of the Aprc'S, which backed President Barrow's re-election bid, has expressed disappointment over the detention of former Republican Guard Commander Saul Badjie and colleagues at Mile 2 Central Prisons. Last month, Badjie, who has been implicated in many alleged crimes by the Truth Commission, returned home from exile alongside a dozen other security details of the former President Yahya Jammeh. On Monday, the Gambia government confirmed that he and Major Lamin Tamba and Warrant 2 Musa Jammeh, who have also been adversely mentioned by the TRRC, are being held at Mile 2. However, speaking in an audio obtained by the Standard, Bakso Jaite said it was the Fabakar Tombonjata leadership that negotiated the return of Badjie and colleagues, but not for them to be locked up at mile 2. That was not part of the negotiations. We want to assure all APRC supporters that we are concerned about whatever happens to them, Jaite said, calling on APRC militants to stay calm and remain peaceful. Mr. Jaite called on President Adama Barrow to start being very careful. You have be vigilant. You have be vigilant, they said, about certain people who did not want you to be president and did not want Saul Badjie and others to have any peace so that they can provoke us and diminish us in politics, Bakso said, warning Barrow. Yes, we are in a happy mood, but this has taken another angle which brings us sadness. Yes, we know that security people have to do their work, investigate everything, but we did not bring these people here to be taken to mile 2. We will not be part of anything that will bring people from where they were for them to be locked up here. May God forbid me from being part of that, Bakso said. Turning to address APRC supporters, Jaite called on the party to stand up and put up the party's own candidate in the coming National Assembly elections. We all how some things were worked out, and we want to make sure that what we have said happens. If those things cannot happen, then let everyone pack your luggage and return to where you come from. That's what I can see. Let us put our own candidates, and I am sure from the way people are ready to, we could get as many as 20 MPs, Bakso said. Bakso said he fought tooth and nail too, and so that Barrow is elected, and therefore he needs to be heard and be respected. If that is not there, I, Bakari, will not be part of it, and I will not condone it, he strongly warned the president. It ends there. So there are other headlines here from Standard. 5 reasons to be excited about Gambia AFCON 2021, and cervical cancer awareness campaign is on. How we Gambians and lost our country to Senegal and what we should do about it. Some patients clarifications, they say, some pertinent clarifications. So those are the newly, and my time with Buba SMCC, all these are newly updated from Standard newspaper. So let's see whether, let me see, to bring another story in English. Okay. Chief Magistrate Cham to head KMC inquiry. This one by Mam Said Sise and read by Hajarama Air Radio Saljerona Spain. A 5-member commission of inquiry into allegations of fraud and malpractices at the Kanifing Municipal Council has been sworn in by the magistrate, has been sworn in by the Minister of Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs, Mr. Musa Drame, yesterday. According to the government, the move followed the submission of a report by local government inspectors and auditors from the Internal Audit Department on the serious allegations by the mayor and counter allegations by the chief executive officer of malpractice and fraud amounting to millions of dollars. The commission is chaired by Chief Magistrate Omar Cham, assisted by Commissioners Mamadou Y.M. Salah and Mam Sid Jallo. The commission is also assisted by a secretary appointed by the Minister of Local Government, while the Ministry of Justice will support the commission with a lead counsel and other technical support staff. The Inspector General of Police will provide security and investigators for the commission. The commission is mandated to investigate the circumstances surrounding the loan facility given by AJIP Limited to the Staff Welfare Association of the KMC in the sum of $12 million, as well as to ascertain whether due process was followed in obtaining the loan. It will also identify the persons and groups of persons directly involved in securing the loan. In a statement at the swearing-in ceremony, the Minister of Local Government, Musa Drame, disclosed that the Commission, which has powers, rights, and privileges vested in the High Court, can summon witnesses to testify at hearings and examine them under oath and compel the production of documents, as well as issued orders or requests to examine witnesses abroad. The Commission, the Minister went on, can enforce its decisions, including measures to protect the life and safety of individuals, and cite any person or corporate body for contempt. The Commission shall complete its inquiry within 3 months from the date of its establishment and shall submit its report, including such recommendations and findings deemed fit, to the Minister of Local Government or Minister of Local Government. Meanwhile, Mamadou Mbalo, a senior state counsel at the Ministry of Justice, has been appointed as lead counsel for the commission. It ends there. Stay tuned, don't go away. We'll bring another story in English. Welcome back, still with Standard Newspaper. Guinea keeps borders open with Mali hit by ECOWAS sanction. This one is a press release from Guinea. The details. The military junta in Guinea said on Monday it would keep its borders open with Mali, going against ECOWAS sanction on Bamako. In a statement read on national television on Monday, the spokesperson for Guinea's ruling junta announced the country would keep its borders open with neighboring Mali. The government of Colonel Mamadi Doumbouya goes against the ECOWAS group, which decided on Sunday to freeze Malian assets at the region's central bank and ordered land borders be closed, amongst other sanctions. The National Committee of Reconciliation and Development CNRD wishes to inform the public opinion and international opinion that the Republic of Guinea was in no way associated with the decision of the fourth extraordinary summit of ECOWAS heads of state. Consequently, the committee reaffirms that the air, land and sea borders of the Republic of Guinea remain open to all sister nations in accordance with its Pan-Africanist vision. Aminata Jallo, CNRD spokeswoman, said, Guinea's decision remains, however, an exception. The country was suspended from the 15th member regional bloc following the military coup of last September. After announcing relatory measures, Malian authorities eventually said on Monday they remain open to dialogue with ECOWAS. The regional group insisted elections be held in February, but the military regime argued that rampant insecurity posed too big of a problem for the timetable to be respected. The country has struggled to quell a brutal jihadist insurgency and started in 2012 before spreading to Bamako or to Burkina Faso and Niger. In Mali, there is not consensus on the issue. When some defend the postponement of elections, others wish for it to be held. Stay tuned, don't go. I'll be back momentarily with another story. The other story from Standard: 3 marabouts arraigned for defrauding man $700,000. This one by Aisa Tamba and Umi Bojang. Read by Hajarama Radio Saljeruna, Spain. 3 marabouts were arraigned at the Kanifing Magistrate Court yesterday, charged with conspiring to commit felony and defrauding one Momodu Lamin Badjie a total sum of $700,000. The trio, Basiru Jallo, Suleiman Ba, and Alkali Sala, pleaded not guilty to the charges before Magistrate Ibrahim Akoli. Testifying before the court, the first accused, Basiru Jallo, said he was introduced to the complainant, Mamadou Lamin Badjie, by one Ibrahim Assise with 4 problems that he wanted spiritual guardians to solve. Jallo told the court that the complainant had explained his problems as follows. 1. He had an ongoing case at the Supreme Court about some visa issues. 2. He was at loggerheads with his father, who chased him and his mother out of the compound. 3. He had to flee to Casamance because he has issues with former President Jammeh. And 4. He wanted his father's second wife to vacate the compound so that he and his mother can possess the compound. According to police prosecutor Lamin Jammeh, Jallo had told the complainant that he could not solve all his 4 problems alone, and that's when he had to involve the 2 other marabouts. But the witness denied that, claiming he had told the complainant that he should buy kola nuts and go with him to seek for forgiveness from his dad and his second wife to accept him and his mom back in the compound. Jallo also denied taking the compliant Mamadou Lamin Badjie to some other spiritual places or other marabouts and jinns for prayers, as the police prosecutor claimed. The witness further denied receiving $10,000 rather the dollars from the complainant. The case is adjourned to 20th January 2022. Stay tuned, don't go. We'll bring another story after this. Welcome back. Still with Standard. Gambia mounts 11 seats in New York fire. This one by Umar Reba Hajadama Air Radio Sal Jeruna Spain. Now the details. Gambians from all walks of life have been expressing shock and sorrow over the death of at least 11 compatriots in Sunday's fire outbreak in a New York flat. The Gambia government led the condolence last night. In statement on the tragedy, government expressed its heartfelt condolence over the tragic incident which killed at least 6 children. We are deeply saddened to confirm the general public that 11 Gambians, including 6 children, have died in the fire that broke in Bronx, New York on Sunday, 8 January 2022. Latest information from our permanent representative in New York and ambassador in Washington indicate that others are still missing, but efforts are underway to locate them. Both the permanent mission and the embassy in Washington are working with the authorities in the city of New York with a view to locating survivors and also assisting the injured. They have also been in touch with the families concerned. Some have already been found and reunited with their families. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, on behalf of the Gambia government, sends its heartfelt condolence to the grieving families for this tragic loss. The ministry prays for God's infinite mercy and forgiveness on the departed souls. The public will be regularly updated as we go through these trying times, the statement said. President Adama Barrow too has since sent his personal condolence to the family through his social media feeds. We are keenly following the developments through our embassy in the United States. Meanwhile, I extend my condolence to the families of the deceased and wish a speedy recovery to the injured, the president said. In a statement shared with the Standard, the opposition UDP said the UDP is shocked and saddened to learn of the tragic fire accident which occurred in an apartment complex in the Bronx, New York, USA, on January 9th, causing fatalities and severe injuries to the residents. On behalf of the National Executive Committee and on my own behalf, I wish to express our deepest condolence for the great loss of lives. The Gambian diaspora is an integral part of our close-knit community, and as such, this is a shared loss for all Gambians. We pray that all those who mourn are comforted by Almighty Allah, the most merciful and the most beneficent. Our thoughts and prayers are with the families and friends of all the deceased uninjured at this very difficult time for them. The statement released by leader Ousainou Darboe stated, the GMC leader Mai Fati wrote, I am saddened to express condolence on the tragic death of a number of Gambians who perished in a bronze inferno in New York, USA. I commiserate with the families, relatives, and friends of the victims and with the entire Gambian community. I pray prevalently that Allah, the Lord of the universe, best war His mercy upon them all, admit them into Jannatul Firdaus, and console the families left behind. I want to commend the Gambian community in New York for their generous acts of prompt humanitarian intervention. This is a sad moment for our nation and for all of us to mourn this huge national loss and to support the needy families in any way possible. The Gambian community in the USA are very resilient, and may Allah help see us through this great tragedy. Meanwhile, the Standard has received report of parents perishing leaving their babies behind, while others have their children perished in the fire. It's so sad. May God help them. So it ends there. So stay tuned, don't go. You will see another story to come with it. The GTU. The GTU speak on new government pay structure palaver. This one by Olimati Koka, read by Hajadama Air Radio Sal Jeruna, following the uproar that greeted the planned new grading system of the government pay scale among teachers who complained it did not favor them. The Gambia Teachers Union yesterday reported its findings of the matter. Addressing a press conference at the GTU Secretariat in Kanifing, Esa So, Deputy General Secretary, said the union had received several calls from its membership drawing its attention to some disparities in a purported final report of the job evaluation for pay and grading for civil service. This was triggered by an initial analysis trending on social media pointing out that teachers and education officials were disadvantaged compared to their counterparts in the particular sector within the establishment. Our WhatsApp pages were inundated with tons of comments inside, coupled with 2 petitions directed to the GTU from teachers for change, TFC, and not to teachers exploitation, NTE, respectively, so said. According to him, the leadership of the GTU investigated the matter and their findings are also follows. Teachers and education sector personnel were united in the call for redress. We found out that there are 4 pay scale options developed. Option A has a starting salary of 19,613 per annum with 10 grades, 6 increments, and standard increment of 5% within and between scales. Option B has a starting salary 23,328 per annum with 10 grades, 6 increments, and standard increments of 5% within and between scales. Option C has a starting salary of 25,488 per annum with 10 grades, 6 increments, and a standard increase increment of 5% within and between scales. Option D has a starting salary of 36,000 per annum with 11 grades and standard increase and increment of 5% within and between grades 1 to 5 and 3% between grades 6 to 11. He revealed that they have confirmed that option D is the vision approved by Cabinet. For emphasis, an integrated pay scale has been approved by Cabinet, but the development of the grading structure is in progress, Mr. So said. He said that they also review the claims about the alleged degrading of teachers' pay comparatively against a particular sector, but they have confirmed that this is not the case. On the contrary, the teaching job has been given an added relative value both laterally and horizontally. It was apparent that all the analysis we saw were a comparison of the proposed new grading structure of teachers against the current scale for the sector in question. This is misleading and erroneous. We have found out that according to the generic pay and grading implementation plan for ministries in institutions, PMO is yet to meet Ministry of Basic Secondary Education to share their final input by reviewing the sustainability of sustainable or otherwise, to address their own needs and circumstances, Mr. So said. The UTG officials said their conclusion is that an integrated pay scale with a starting salary of GMT 36,000 per annum with 11 grades plus standard increase and increment of 5% within and between grade 1 to 5 and 3% between grade 6 to 11 has been approved by Cabinet, and that work is in progress. And as such, the draft grading structure for the teaching cadre is subject to Ministry of Basic Secondary Education's input, but as it stands, there is relatively value added in consideration of the teaching job. Ministry of Basic Secondary Education has not yet submitted its data requested by PMO to initiate the final review. We would like to reassure our membership and the general public that the union will continue to fulfill its moral obligations and duty to the profession and country at all time, Mr. So said. He advised all members to desist from circulating unconfirmed information regarding issues affecting them and instead direct all their inquiries to their union, adding that members should continue with their normal businesses while the union engage with Ministry of Basic Secondary Education to ensure the required data is provided to PMO to finalize the draft pay structure for teaching cadre. It ends there. So these are the stories we combine to bring for you to this newscast in English. We will be back in a later part of the day in Mandinka language and the other stories from Point newspaper. So stay tuned there for our next program.